This time of year, around Christmas time, is always my favorite time of year, but something's coming that is not necessarily my favorite time of year.
I know.
Mercury retrograde.
I hate to even say it. It's that time of the year. Not the most wonderful, but the only good thing I can say is at least it's not going to ruin Christmas for too many people. That's the best thing I could say. Mercury is retrograding. Today, it's stationary. Tomorrow, it starts its backward move for 21 days in the sign of Capricorn. So wherever Capricorn is in your chart is where there's... and the action with Mercury is bound to be done over again, bound to be repeated. Miscommunication and misunderstanding. So the big thing is to just be really careful with what you write, what you say, what you believe, what you hear, and all of that. So for all of the signs for Capricorn, Mercury is retrograding in their sign, which means that they themselves are likely to be misunderstood. No matter what they're trying to say, either it's not going to be heard right, it's not going to be said right, there'll be misunderstandings. So the best thing you can do is keep your conversation short and sweet, and then write down everything and check it twice before you hit send is the most important thing. For Aquarians, this is going to be a very difficult one for them because not only is Mercury retrograde, but also the Sun is in Capricorn. Both of those, their 12th house of their own undoing. So this is the type of thing where Aquarians are going to get themselves in trouble by what they say. And even though they might mean one thing, it's going to be completely misconstrued. And the best thing Aquarians can do for 3 weeks is just shut up. Really, keep your thoughts to yourself. For Pisces, not such a bad retrograde, actually. They are going to be either asked by a group to help a group, or the group is going to find a way to help them. And I think that because Mars is entering their sign as well, that it bodes very, very well for the Pisces, that it's good news for the Pisces, that whatever the new start is, that you lay a solid foundation for it now. For Aries, this retrograde is in their 10th house of their own undoing. I mean, the 10th house of career and public standing. And so they're trying to alter what it is they do professionally. They're trying to expand it a little bit. And they're going in fits and starts. And they have an idea of what they want to do. But quite honestly, a lot of the stuff that they throw up on the wall is not going to stick. And over the next 3 weeks, it's going to fall off. So table your decisions about professional things until probably the new year, till after the 8th. For Tauruses, this is not really a bad place for them. It's in their 9th house of long-distance travel, of the law, of legal matters, educational matters. They have to be really careful with what they sign, with what they agree to make sure that everything is in order legally. And that's the thing, that's the hardest thing, because those kind of errors can come back to really bite you. So they really want to keep track of paperwork is what they want to keep track of. For Geminis, it's in the 8th house of other people's resources, other people's money. I think Donald Trump is going to find, he's a Gemini, that there's a great deal of scrutiny on the resources that he shares with other people. And so whatever it is, the resource you share with others, make sure, Gemini, you are above board with it. In any kind of financial dealings, add the numbers up 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times just to make sure that they are right. For Cancers, it's in their 7th house of partners as well as open enemies. And whenever that happens, Cancers find themselves besieged by other people. Everybody is pulling at the Cancer, wanting information from the Cancer, which kind of fits the United States, with other countries trying to say, well, where exactly do we stand? It's like, well, we're not really sure. That is going to be in the process of evolving. For Leos, it is in their 6th house of work and responsibilities. This is not really the best time to negotiate better working conditions. The best thing to do there is table it till after the 8th, because that is still in a state of flux, and don't have any kind of medical tests or anything done that's really important during this time, because I think that they're going to have misinformation and not be able to go forward with it. For Virgos, 5th house of love affairs, children, sports, pleasures, not a bad place for it at all, because the one thing you want to do over again is a good time, and Virgos are headed for that for the next 3 weeks or so. For Libras, it's in their 4th house of home and their foundations, and they have to be really careful not to start ambitious projects at home, because they don't really know where the load-bearing walls are, and once you start painting one wall, you got to paint them all. It's that kind of a thing, and they really want to try and remodel their house, refurbish their house, but keep those plans to something that you can really manage. For Scorpios, 3rd house of day-to-day living. The pace of their day-to-day living is going to pick up. And Scorpios have to be really careful not to backtrack, not to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back, and be careful what they agree to. For Sagittarians, the last sign, it's in their 2nd house of money, resources, and property. So they have to be really careful with their finances and make sure that they realize their finances are finite, not infinite. So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. Bad that it is, with Mercury, the planet of communication, going retrograde for the next 21 days.
Well, all righty, my dear. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you in the new year.
I hope so.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.